Good evening. It's Thursday, February 6th. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Maya Trabulsi. We start with local doctors keeping a close watch on potential cases of Wuhan coronavirus. Most of those who arrived from China yesterday are being quarantined at MCAS Miramar, but 5 were taken to hospitals, including Rady Children's Hospital in Kearney Mesa. And that's where we find KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman live tonight with more on this developing story. Matt.
Maya, yeah, you are correct. 5 people that are on board that flight from Wuhan, China, landed at MCAS Miramar yesterday to begin a federal 14-day quarantine. They have been moved to local hospitals. Officials are telling us they either had signs of a cough or a high fever, so they moved them out of an abundance of caution. They don't have the coronavirus. We don't know yet. There is some testing underway, but out of an abundance of caution, they moved them to local hospitals. Now, 3 of those people were taken to UC San Diego Medical Center in Hillcrest, 2 of them taken right here to Rady Children's Hospital yesterday. Now, here at Rady Children's, a dad and his daughter. We'll touch on that a little bit more later, but a lot of people are wondering, why are they moving these people off base out of the quarantine? Well, that's simply because MCAS Miramar is not equipped to treat them.
They can only quarantine patients, but from a military standpoint, they do not have the capacity to treat anyone for anything.
That's why the patients were moved out of the quarantine at MCAS Miramar and taken to local hospitals. Now the patients are in isolation chambers, and officials want to reassure the public there is not a risk.
There's no threat.
There's no threat.
So,
yeah,
yes, I want to reassure. What we've got in our hospitals are these specialized isolation units that we all put together for Ebola that are sort of airtight, as it were. Miramar Air Station is a nice place to hold them, but they don't have all of the isolation and the physicians, all the specialists to take care of patients if they should get sick. So they're only moving them because we've got isolation and medical expertise, not because they're contagious. So it's not like if a bus with someone, drives past the hospital here, everyone will get infected. You have to be within 3 to 6 feet of an actively infected, coughing, sneezing person to actually catch the infection.
Yeah, now health officials are telling me, the doctors are telling me that those people that are here at Rady Children's are doing just fine, and the people at UC San Diego Medical Center in Hillcrest. I had a chance today to speak briefly with the dad whose daughter is here with him as well. He's doing okay, a little overwhelmed by this whole process. His daughter does seem to be in good spirits as well. Now remember, this doesn't mean that these people have the coronavirus. They're just showing some of the early symptoms. Now there is testing underway. The earliest we can expect those results tomorrow, more likely though on Saturday. Now all of this happening as we're awaiting details about another flight from Wuhan, China that might be coming into MCAS Miramar soon. We'll keep you updated when we have those details. Here at Rady Children's Hospital, Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Thanks, Matt. And it's not just Miramar hosting those potentially exposed to coronavirus. Several military bases are doing the same as confirmed cases and deaths in China continue to rise. Daryl Forges has more on the national response.
More evacuations from China are coming. They will be quarantined for 14 days at facilities in San Antonio, Texas, and Omaha, Nebraska.
We're prepared for as many as 250 passengers. It could be less than that.
Some Americans are already quarantined in California, including the Roth family. Here you see long lines as a family left Wuhan on Tuesday. Once the family arrived in California, they were given a tub of toys and sacks of food.
And if anyone is found ill, they're going to be immediately transported to a local hospital for isolation with conditions that will help prevent spread.
As the outbreak continues to spread, the World Health Organization now requesting $675 million from the global community to combat the virus.
Our message to the international community is invest today or pay more later.
Coronavirus test kits capable of testing more than 300,000 patients will be distributed by the CDC. Half will go to the labs in the U.S., the others to the international labs.
And I think our thought and worry is always pandemic influenza, and so we have the resources and the skills ready to act.
Daryl Forges, KPBS News.
And one of America's richest families is giving some of its fortune to help contain the coronavirus outbreak. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is promising to give up to $100 million to the effort. $20 million will go immediately to the CDC, World Health Organization, and other health authorities in Asia and Africa. The Gates Foundation says it hopes the money will help speed up work to develop a vaccine. Vindictive, spiteful. That's how critics of President Trump are describing an impeachment acquittal address at the White House today. The president took aim at those who oppose him while heaping praise on his defenders and GOP supporters. Camila Bernal has more.
An acquitted President Trump walking into a standing ovation and describing what he says he's been through since he decided to run for president.
It was evil, it was corrupt, it was dirty cops, it was leakers and liars.
With praises to his legal team, the president reiterating his innocence.
We went through hell unfairly, did nothing wrong, But this is what the end result is.
But over at Capitol Hill, a very different message.
You're impeached forever. You're never getting rid of that scar.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi saying the House will continue with oversight.
You were impeached for undermining the security of our country, jeopardizing the integrity of our elections, and violating the Constitution of the United States.
The bad blood between the two with no end in sight.
Nancy Pelosi is a horrible person. And she wanted to impeach a long time ago when she said, I pray for the president. I pray for the president. She said, pray.
I pray hard for him because he's so off the track of our Constitution. He really needs our prayers. So he can say whatever he wants.
Camila Bernal, KPBS News.
All House Democrats who represent San Diego voted to impeach President Trump, and that includes Juan Vargas, who is running for re-election in a reliably blue seat. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen looks at the race and Vargas's Republican challenger.
Democrat Juan Vargas has job security. The former San Diego City Council member and state assemblyman was first elected to Congress in 2012 and has easily won re-election ever since. The district includes City Heights, Chula Vista, and Imperial County, and it's overwhelmingly blue. UCSD political science professor Thad Kauser says Vargas has name ID, money, and the inherent benefit of incumbency.
He's represented this district for a long time, and it's hard to beat that person unless there's something that goes wrong, a scandal, a vote on which he's out of step with his district, and we haven't seen any evidence of that.
Only one other candidate has qualified for the ballot in the 51st, Republican Juan Hidalgo, who lost to Vargas in 2016 and 2018. He says he wants to bring jobs to the district and that he supports President Trump's border wall. Kauser says even in deeply Democratic districts like this one, Republicans and nonpartisan voters still make up almost half the electorate.
And also, you're waiting around in case some scandal does strike. And that's what Juan Hidalgo is doing. He's positioning himself to take this seat if Juan Vargas somehow trips.
Because of California's top two primary system, Vargas and Hidalgo are virtually guaranteed yet another rematch in November. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
The congressional races are part of the new KPBS voter guide that launched just this week. It's our online resource to help you navigate the primary ballot. You just enter your location and you'll get the races that apply to your area. And along the way, you can save your choices to make filling your ballot that much easier. Just look for the link to the 2020 KPBS voter guide at kpbs.org, and we'll have more election coverage, including an update on the San Diego City Attorney race a bit later in the newscast.
I'm Judy Woodruff tonight on the NewsHour Aftermath. President Trump takes a victory lap, tearing into those who would have him removed from office. Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
It's the look of pure joy to be back home, or at least back on Earth. This is what we saw when a space pioneer touched down just today.
Brandy, if I might interrupt, Christina Cook, your record holder, she is out. Thumbs up and a huge smile.
Now, Christina Cook spent 11 months in orbit. That's the longest space flight by a woman. She and two other astronauts returned on a Soyuz capsule, which landed in Kazakhstan. Cook worked closely with UC San Diego alumna Jessica Meir in recent weeks, including the first all-female spacewalk. A well-known world champion athlete came to San Diego today. He was there to officially open a new school. KPBS reporter Priya Sridhar was there for the celebration.
3, 2, 1.
The Hawking STEAM Charter School celebrated the opening of its second campus Thursday in South San Diego. The focus of the curriculum is on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, and serves students from kindergarten through 6th grade. It's one of 2 campuses that together educate more than 1,100 students. But today's celebration was made special with a visit from tennis legend Andre Agassi, the former #1 player in the world.
I was making a comment to the kids that they might not completely understand what I'm saying, but they'll hopefully remember it. And that's one thing to have goals in life, and they should. College has been a goal that every child here raised their hand for, but it's also important to know how to define success. And defining success isn't about necessarily accomplishing a goal. It's about the people you love in your life and loving what you do.
The school's campus was developed by the Turner Agassi Charter School Facilities Fund, a social impact investment fund that provides resources to high-performing charter school operators. The fund takes the lead in picking the school site, designing it, and constructing it, and then leases the school back to school operators who can eventually purchase it. Since 2011, the fund has opened 96 schools across the country. These are the first 2 campuses in San Diego. Agassi says encouraging students to pursue their education is a personal passion since he dropped out of school in 8th grade to play tennis.
I think with my lack of education came a lack of choice. Lack of choice led to a real disconnect. That disconnect, led to a real reevaluation of my life. And when I started to give children who really don't have choice a future of their choosing, that motivated me and kind of gave me the second half of my career and my wife and my life, so I owe it a lot.
He hopes that by giving kids a place to learn, they can have the choice to discover their dreams. Priya Sridhar, KPBS News.
When you see those Amazon vans on our streets, so more of them will be running clean. The company is ordering 100,000 custom electric vans. It's the largest order in history, and Amazon is working with a Southern California company, Rivian, to make the vans. Some of the first vans will be on the road next year. A San Diego-based company is looking to deliver medication faster and cheaper using drones. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman got a first look at how the company plans to do it.
Instead of going out to a pharmacy to get your medications, one company is using technology to bring it directly to you from the air.
We're at the implementation phase. We have a pilot program starting with SortPack, our first of hopefully many pharmacies, in delivering to some of their patients.
Founds Genesee is CEO of Unmanned Systems Operations Group, or USOG.
All right, go flight.
From his experience in the Air Force flying medical evacuations, he knows how important it is to get people their medications fast. But it wasn't until a year ago when he took a class at Miracosta College in Oceanside that the idea came to him.
During the course of that class, they showed us a video of a delivery service of RC planes parachuting medication in Africa. I'm like, bingo, game over, we could do that.
So Genesee partnered with 2 of his instructors and launched the company. This truck is a moving marketing tool showing how the delivery system works. Step 1 is to load a package.
We're just showing one package here today, but we have a patented delivery system where we can deliver multiple packages in one flight.
Once that happens, the truck's roof opens up, and the drone takes off all by itself. Once it gets to its destination, the package is dropped. USOG also uses an app that lets users select the drop-off location and shows a video of the delivery. The drones the company is using now can carry up to 12 pounds and fly all sorts of medication.
We can go from Tylenol to some medications actually run up to $40,000. We have the ability, and we have climate-controlled containers to deliver, let's say, insulin, which has to be refrigerated. Take antivenoms from one hospital, transport it to another hospital instead of transporting the patient, and it's faster, quicker, and cheaper.
The company has partnered with SortPack, a full-service pharmacy that serves customers across the country.
We want to be at the forefront of, the future, and, we see it really could help a lot of people out too.
Raymond Shervanian is CEO of SortPack.
We do have patients that, they don't have loved ones that can go out there and pick up their medications, right? They don't have, they live in areas where it's more of, it's really hard for cars to get out there.
Soon, SortPack customers will be receiving their deliveries from the drones, part of a pilot program.
We've asked them, how do you feel about it? They were amazed, they were surprised too. How would a drone deliver my medication?
USOG co-founder Mark Costco says there are some limitations with the drone delivery system. Bad weather or rain could cancel flights.
There's definitely going to be conditions. I mean, there's conditions with commercial aircraft, which are pretty rugged, don't fly through. Helicopters won't fly, and there's a level that we won't be able to fly through too if the weather gets too bad.
Costco says automated technology will be a key part of the company's success.
It knows where we start, knows where it's going to go, and it'll plan the best route, making sure that it avoids no-fly zones that the FAA has designated, like schools, hospitals, stadiums.
Genesee says the main goal of the company is to save lives by getting medication to people faster and cheaper. He's driven every day to reach this goal by the memory of his grandmother, who passed away when he was just a kid.
The biggest impetus of creating this company is helping to save lives, because I wasn't able to save my grandmother, and I wasn't old enough to, but I wasn't able to save her, but I wanted to save others, and I think that's kind of one of the big things that really motivated me to make this happen. So for this to be successful is everything to me. It's a big deal to me, and I've got everything invested in it, all of me.
Right now, the company is continuing to put its software and drones through tests. USOG knows they have competition from larger companies in the drone delivery space. USOG will soon begin test flights delivering medication just north of San Diego in Riverside County. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
It should be a bit warmer tomorrow as we head into the weekend. We might also get some rain in the days ahead. Lauren Rainson has our forecast.
Good evening. That uneventful stretch of weather for us is continuing, unless if your travel plans have been taking you into the northwest, where all the Pacific surge of moisture just continuing to push into the state of Washington. Folks to our north cannot catch a break. Well, we've been in that break big time here back at home. A lot of sunshine will carry forward the rest of the evening and overnight under a mostly clear sky. Coastal fog certainly a possibility into the morning hours, but that'll lift very quickly, returning to sunshine. After midnight in the metro, lows will cool to the upper 40s, just a few passing clouds. Widespread lows in the 30s to the 40s closer to the coast. Once more into our TGIF Friday, break back out the shades, soaking up all of that sun and just enjoying as Mother Nature continues to deliver. Widespread temperatures in the 60s along the coast to the 70s further inland. Borrego Springs will top out near 77, sunshine. Changes are right around the corner, though, by late weekend. This cold front leading edge of colder air will continue to sink its way southward, possibly touching off a few showers. Yes, a little bit of rain has returned to our forecast by late weekend. We'll go into that dry, plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the middle 60s through Saturday. Come Sunday, that's when I wouldn't completely rule out some rain. Monday to Tuesday, drying and clearing out with temperatures in the lower 60s. Inland, you're also dry, enjoying that sun through Saturday. Sunday, there's the wet weather. Monday to Tuesday, though, we instantly get back to sunshine and temperatures in the 60s. Into the mountains, no rain for you, but it will be a little bit breezy into the weekend before we kind of settle things back down again on Sunday. Monday, that's when that shower or two, not completely out of the question, shouldn't be anything major. Into the desert, sunshine Friday, Saturday, sunshine, a few more clouds on Sunday. Not quite as warm, though, those temperatures will work their way down to the lower 60s by Monday. Reporting for KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Lauren Rainson. Back to you.
Lawyer Cory Briggs is well known for using nonprofits to sue public agencies. Now he's running in the March primary to be San Diego City Attorney. Our partner iNewsSource has found problems with the nonprofits linked to Briggs. Earlier, I talked with iNewsSource investigative reporter Jennifer Bowman. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, iNewsSource has previously investigated nonprofits associated with Cory Briggs. Why did you look into them again, and what did you find this time?
That's right. So in 2015, we found that Briggs' law firm had formed dozens of nonprofits and then sued on their behalf, mostly against public agencies like the city. And what we found then was that they were more than half had violated state and federal laws when it comes to filing required documents that show things like finances, mission statements, board structures. And now that he's running for city attorney, we decided to take a look at them again. And what we found was a lot of the same. Most had remained suspended by the Franchise Tax Board or the Secretary of State, in some cases both. 11 had received cease and desist orders from the State Attorney General's office, and a few owe $1,000 or more to the State Tax Board. We asked to sit down with Briggs to discuss our findings, but he didn't respond to our request for an interview.
And Briggs has criticized his opponent, Mara Elliott, on issues like her failed attempt to change the state's public records law and the city's smart streetlights program. So what does she say in response to this?
Yeah, so Briggs has been very critical of Mara Elliott during his campaign, and it's while he's campaigning on being a promoter, supporter of transparency. And when it comes to the public records bill that failed that Mara Elliott tried to get passed, he points to that when he says that her office is obsessed with secrecy. And so in the smart streetlights program, he has criticized her for owning $18,000 worth of General Electric stock. That company had owned the company that was installing the sensors, and he's raised concerns about the privacy standards. Mara Elliott did speak with us for our story. She's largely dismissed the criticism. When it comes to the smart streetlights, she says that stock is going to go toward her children's college education, falls far below what the law would consider a conflict of interest. And when it comes to the Public Records Act, she actually says that Briggs is part of the problem that she was trying to address when it comes to costly and frivolous lawsuits. And so she's largely dismissed that and in fact sent a letter to Briggs demanding that he retract any statements alleging she broke the law.
Really interesting findings. Thank you so much, Jennifer Bowman from iNewsSource.
Thank you.
For more on this story, you can go to inewssource.org. iNewsSource is an independently funded nonprofit partner of KPBS. The housing industry is making a big push to defeat Measure A on the San Diego County ballot in March. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson says the measure seeks to change how developments are approved in the county's rural, unincorporated area.
Measure A was written by wealthy Wall Street investors who packed it.
The home building and selling industry has pumped nearly $1.3 million into the effort to defeat Measure A. That's almost 9 times the amount of money raised by those trying to pass the initiative. Measure A proposes changing the process for approving housing developments that fall outside of the county's general plan guidelines. Instead of letting the county supervisors have the final word, county voters would weigh in on projects with 6 houses or more if those projects require an amendment to the general plan and if they increase housing density on rural or semi-rural lands. The Building Industry Association set up the No on A committee, but the top contributors are the California Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors, each of whom contributed $350,000 since the first of last year. The money is paying for a broadcast and digital ad campaign.
And taxpayer and rural economy advocates, they all agree.
Backers of Measure A, the Save Our San Diego Countryside initiative, have raised $160,000 since the beginning of 2019. The largest single contributor to the Yes on Measure A effort is the San Pedro-based Endangered Habitats League, which has donated $75,000. With fewer resources, backers are relying on digital ads to reach voters. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
A public memorial is set for later this month for former Lakers star Kobe Bryant. Staples Center will host the event in LA on February 24th. Bryant's daughter, Gianna, and the 7 others killed in last month's helicopter crash will also be honored. The city is organizing the event with help from the Bryant family and from the Lakers. The Stones will be rolling into San Diego to kick off their 2020 tour. And that's some of the Rolling Stones' 2014 performance at Petco Park. Today, the legendary band announced a 15-city North American tour beginning here in America's finest city, May 8th at SDCCU Stadium. Tickets for the No Filter tour go on sale at 10 a.m. on February 14th. Barnes & Noble is facing backlash over a new line of children's book covers. Reporter Angie Gonzalez shows us what all the controversy is about.
People are judging these books by their covers, literally.
I think it's wonderful.
This was not the right way to go.
I think it's nice.
Readers outside the Barnes & Noble on Fifth Avenue were split on how they felt about an initiative to re-outfit a collection of classic books with newly designed covers showing characters of various ethnicities.
I like the idea that it's very inclusive.
I would love to know who was sitting at the table and thought that this was a good idea.
The books were supposed to be part of a novel promotion during Black History Month between publisher Penguin Random House and the city's largest bookstore. The two called the campaign a, quote, world first initiative to visually highlight and champion the need for diversity in literature. That's not how it was received on social media. Twitter users slammed Barnes & Noble, saying that instead their focus should have been on promoting Black authors during the month of February. The bookstore even canceled a public unveiling of the book scheduled for Wednesday night. In a statement, the company said the covers are not a substitute for Black voices or writers of color, adding the booksellers who championed this initiative did so convinced it would help drive engagement with these classic titles. Instead, it drove public engagement in a marketing effort some say wasn't thought through.
These are books that are classics. They don't need to be changed or altered, but it is Black History Month, so why not have the Black authors? That promotes Black history.
A stance that even those who did like the new covers understood.
I could see that point.
I think maybe, why couldn't they do both?
As part of the campaign, the companies had planned on asking artists to submit their own covers for the books. They have nixed plans for that as well.
And that was Angie Gonzalez reporting. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great evening.